Great question. Yes, I think the biggest influence on my career has been my father, because he worked for the United Nations in human rights, and also I think a great personal influence has been the fact that I'm adopted, and I was adopted when I was a baby from Peru with my twin sister. So I was always made aware that there were other children in the world that weren't as lucky as my sister and I were growing up, and I think I always was encouraged from an early age by both my parents to really get involved with the community and make a difference where I could, and the legal profession offered that to me throughout my legal degree, and when I was in private practice as well. I always volunteered my time at legal services, and I really enjoyed that, and I also volunteered sometimes at soup kitchens. So I think that's what's inspired me from the early stages of my career, and yeah, I definitely encourage everyone else to look at their own background and look towards their own family for inspiration.
I'd have to say, after I finished uni, I did my Leo cousin, and then I went and lived in Bali on and off for about 12 months, and I was helping out in the prisons there. And it was while I was there that I was, I guess, exposed to a lot of family law issues and people in the prison and inmates and visitors who were going through different family law issues. And it made me feel really inspired and really compelled to want to help families and want to help people who were going through really tough emotional issues, and also wanting to defend and advocate for people who couldn't defend and speak for themselves, really. So it was, yeah, after being in the prison, I was tossing up which area of law to go with. I wanted to do property and construction and commercial and a whole lot of different things. And then I thought, no, I'm going to go with my heart, go with my passion, helping people.
After finishing high school, I decided to study a Bachelor of Music. I majored in classical piano and composition. I can see now how this ties in with a career in law. After finishing my Bachelor of Music, I decided to study law because I had always had an interest in the way societies were governed at local, state and federal levels. In my role as an associate to the President of the Law Institute of Victoria, I've been exposed to the wider legal community and the ways in which, and the complexities in which making and implementing change occurs. I'm not sure at the moment where my career path will lead me. However, I encourage students to keep your options open. The legal industry is very expansive and very large, and you shouldn't pigeonhole yourself to one section.
I've always been interested in changing systems and making things better. And I remember working in what was then the old law department in a program called the Courts Management Change Program in 1983. I hope that doesn't give away my age. And I was lucky enough to work for John King, who had come in from the corporate sector and who was a very smart man. He'd got his law degree by the time he was 21 and had then gone to Harvard and been a lecturer there and worked in the transport industry making major changes. He was brought in by Jim Kennan to fix the courts. I walked into his office one day and said, "Can I come and work for you?" I was lucky enough he said yes. And today I'm here faced with a similar task of bringing change to the Law Institute, and almost every day I think about how John managed that process and the sorts of techniques that he applied. For me, there was also an interest in justice. I come from a family of, my father was a judge, and also I remember reading Plato when I was 8 in the bookshelf at home, and Plato the Republic, where he talks about what justice is. I think most lawyers understand that and are always looking for ways to bring an improvement in justice for their clients, and for me, for the systems that we work with. And really those two things, change and justice, have driven most of my working career. You find inspiration in the oddest of places. For me, it was a dusty old book in a bookshelf and a man who spoke in a language I didn't really, I had not heard before. And I hope you can find those people as well.